Hello, I just wanted to share a bit more about N. Sane Trilogy level editing because there have been a few developments since I last made a video about it. I have been tweeting some pictures and stuff. I haven't really explained what's actually going on, and people keep asking me questions about it, so I'll attempt to explain what I'm up to at the moment and address some of those questions. So if you haven't seen any of this before, don't worry about having to watch the 40-minute video and the 4-hour live stream on this channel if you want to understand what's going on. I'll try to recap quickly. So I'm working on some kind of level editor for this game, the N. Sane Trilogy, and it started out as just a thing that can move crates around in levels. I have since expanded it to be able to move basically anything around, sort of. It's all very experimental and temperamental, so it breaks a lot, but when it works, it does work. What we're looking at here is a list of all the crates in Insanity Beach. The editor has detected all these in the game, and found the coordinates for them, but I've had to manually add these labels because the codes for crate types are different in every level, so I'm not sure if it would be possible to automatically load that information from the files. And I haven't added these labels for any other level yet, so if you use the editor with any other level, or if you use the advanced mode to open other types of files that aren't crates files, everything will just be labelled as unknown, which means if you want to identify anything in the game, you have to either change its position with the editor or teleport to it or something like that, and that doesn't always work very well, so it's all a bit of a pain in the ass to try to work out what everything is when you're just presented with a list of 200 unknown things. And you can see straight away that the order these crates are listed in the editor does not correlate at all with the order that they appear in game. I mean, yes, there is an Aku Aku crate here at the start of the level, but that one is actually crate number 3 in this list, which I can demonstrate quickly by teleporting to it. So T3, hopefully this still works. There you go. So that is crate number 3, and these other 2 Aku Akus that are listed before it are later in the level. So these numbers are pretty annoying to try to understand. So because there's so much trial and error and experimentation involved in working out what everything in this list actually is, especially when I haven't got the names of the crates on there for any other level, and because whenever you change the position of anything it takes like 30 seconds to update, which I guess, oops, I can demonstrate now as well if I just quickly let's move Aku Aku number 1 just to show you how long it takes. I have increased the speed of this editor quite a lot since the last time I showed it off, in terms of loading the crates list initially, but this stuff still takes a long time. So because it takes so long to like find the coordinates in the game and then move crates to new positions when you want to, I wanted to find a better way to present and edit those coordinates. Here you go, it's finally loaded. So if I just quickly type C to move crate number 1 to Crash's current position, it's going to find Crash's location and then apply the new coordinates, and that takes forever. Eventually, here you go, the crate will appear here. So it's quite a slow process. I mean, it works, and if I respawn, it should the collision should update as well. So now these 2 crates are both physically here. So it does work, but it takes a long time. So I wanted to try and get something a bit more visual, if I could, like some way to actually show all of these crates in a way that makes some kind of sense without having to go through each one individually to work out which one it is. So I thought that like a proper traditional level editor where you can see everything in 3D and drag objects around to move them would be a bit of a stretch for me, because I have no experience with any kind of coding, and everything I've done so far with modding tools for this game has just been based on a lot of Googling and guesswork. So I thought I should try something simpler, like plotting all of these coordinates on a graph that would update whenever you move stuff around. I thought that might be one way to do it, and I did find a way to do that. So here you go. This is the Nsanity Beach crates file represented graphically, but I couldn't get this to display in a way that actually looked good. I mean, this is a confusing nightmare, isn't it? I tried a few different things, but this is, I think it's called GNU plot I was using to generate these automatically from the coordinates, and it's not, oops, oh, I didn't mean to go on that. It's not ideal, is it? It's a bit of a mess. Actually, there are some crates missing from here. You can see 44. I think this is actually an edited file, because this. No, this is right. It's just, don't worry about this. It's completely bollocks. I guess for some things it could be useful to have a reference like this that shows all the coordinates in a file on a graph like this, but for actually editing anything, it is terrible. So I scrapped that idea pretty quickly, and I decided I would try to get something with a 3D view where I could drag stuff around after all. So this is where I'm at with that. This is that same Nsanity Beach crates file. It hasn't got the modification that I just made applied. This is loaded from the default that I was using when I started the game. And this is that crates file converted into a Unity scene. So this is just the normal standard Unity editor, which I'm still learning how to navigate around. I haven't quite got used to it yet. And this scene, can I show you if I'm still learning how this works. This scene contains 120 crates, because that's how many I've added in so far. And I've managed to make something that will take coordinates which are dumped into temporary files when, where's it gone? When I load this editor up, it saves a load of temporary files with the coordinates of all of these crates. So I've made a tool that will take those coordinates and copy them into this Unity scene file. It's a .unity file, and all the numbers on these crates should match up with these numbers in this list. So you can see here at the start, 35, 36, 50 should be, oh, I've got so many windows open, 35, 36, 50. If we look at, go back to the start of the level, oh my god, the camera glitches out a bit once you teleported. So 35, 36 should both be bounce crates, and 50 should be a random crate. If I just check it on here, 35 bounce, 36 bounce, and 50 random. So just to confirm that that is definitely the right crates, if I just do a quick T50 to teleport to crate 50, I should appear on top of, there you go. So that is the crate that is numbered 50 in this editor. So everything has translated correctly into here. So because I've put in, where's my list? God, this is such a mess, I'm sorry. So because I've added in 120 crates so far, this will work with any level that has up to 120 crates. And I can add in more and it'll work, but I haven't done that yet. So already let me move this back out of the way. Being able to see the position of all these crates like this is very, oh come on, is very useful for trying to work out where things are. Because even when the crates are all listed as unknown in here, it's very easy to just compare this view to what you're looking at in game to work out which crates are which. So that is a useful thing to be able to do. What's more useful with doing stuff like this is that it makes it very easy to change the positions of crates. So it's not, because like there's no level geometry or anything apart from the crates in here, it's not always that easy to work out where you're moving things to, but like the only reference you have is the other crates. So I mean, it's quite easy to stack crates on top of each other. So something I did with the first level editing video I posted was move the Aku Aku crate at the start to like the middle of the path and then stack the other two on top of it. And that took quite a few minutes to do. It took a lot of updating of coordinates and thinking about maths and things like that. It was quite a pain to do. So if I just demonstrate how this makes it a bit simpler, and then maybe do some other stuff. I haven't worked out what I'm actually trying to show off here, but this Unity editor isn't my favourite piece of software. It's a bit awkward to mess with. I don't know if Unity is the best thing to do this with. I just thought I want something that will show objects in a 3D space that makes it easy to move them around, and Unity was just the first thing I thought of. I don't know if there's something better that I could be using, like Unreal Engine or any kind of 3D modelling software. I don't know. This is just the first thing that I thought I'd try. I've never used it before, and it seems to work okay. It's just a bit awkward to use. So if I just quickly try and do the same thing that I did before, I can grab crate number 3, which is an Aku Aku, move it about here, I guess, I don't really know. And then I know that crates 1 and 2 are also Aku Aku 1 and 2. So if I look for those, based on where I know they are in the level, here is number 1. So this is like the steps, the temple steps that are in the middle of the level. You can kind of see there's the crate bridge at the end of the level. So here's crate 1 and 2, which are the other two Aku Akus. If I, oh, it's a bit awkward. If I zoom out a bit, then where is crate number 3? It's over there. So if I take crate number 1 and drag it back this way, drag it down somewhere nearby crate number 3. My depth perception is terrible, so I struggle with this quite a lot, but it's still quicker than like trying to work out coordinates like I was doing before. So this is a much nicer way of doing it. Let's see where we're at. So if these numbers are backwards, upside down on the back, I don't know why, but oh, there's 1 and 3, they're miles away. Look how bad my depth perception is. It also doesn't help that my TV keeps turning off, which is what I'm looking at this on, so that my TV keeps turning off for several seconds at a time, which makes it quite awkward to see what I'm doing. Right, so I want to get number 2 and number 1 over here somewhere. This must be stressing people out. Anyone who's familiar with using Unity must hate me right now, but this is completely new to me. So, are we nearly there? Yeah, this looks about right. So, crate 1, stack it on top of crate 3. I can still, if I want to be more precise, I can still manually edit the coordinates. So I can use this to give me like a general position of the crates. And then if I wanted to, I can still edit the coordinates like I would do in the other editor, except it will update instantly. Oh my god, instead of having to wait like I would do before. So can I reposition this a bit? So crate number 3, I've got it as X73, Y is this, I don't need to worry about that, Z 2062. So if I just change this to like It wasn't exactly 73, was it? Oops. 73, and it updates instantly. So that's much nicer than what I had before. Change this to 73. And then I don't need to be that precise. I can put these all to the same thing, actually. So 6, 2, and 2062. So now these are perfectly stacked on top of each other, and I can move them up and down or wherever I want, and I can undo things and redo, and that makes it so much easier than what I was doing before. But I mean, I don't think this is very exciting. This is exactly what I did before, but just as a quick demonstration, just so you can compare like how long it took me before, how quickly I managed to do this. TV's gone off again. So what I can do now, if I go back to the game, you'll see, where is my cursor? You'll see that it hasn't updated in game. I can like make it so that the Unity editor is completely connected to the other one, so it would update the game in real time, I guess. I haven't done that yet, but it is a possibility. What I have done is added the option to save this modified Unity scene as a crates file. So I could show you that process. It'll take quite a while, because what I need to do is dump the coordinates from this Unity file into some more temporary files, and then I can load them into this editor. And I won't do it right now, but if I type in Unity and hit enter, it will load the data from this Unity scene and convert it into a crates file. So I'm not going to sit here and show the whole process because it's going to take a while, but I will cut ahead by a few seconds just to show you that it does work, and you'll have to take my word for it that it is getting the coordinates from here, because I can't really prove it at the moment. So I'll do that, and then I'll show you what other levels look like in this, I guess, just to show that it does work. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, so this has now saved all of the coordinates of these crates, which should have done, hopefully. And these should be the modified positions. So well, it was 1 and 2 that I moved around, wasn't it? And oh, this is giving me a headache. No. Oh fuck. Right, here we go. So I've already done this once, and I missed an important step. I forgot to save the scene in Unity before I did this process. So that's fine. I've done it now. These are the correct coordinates that I just modified in Unity. So hopefully this should now be saved into some files, which when I go back to this editor and type Unity, it will hopefully detect those and create a modified crates file that uses these coordinates, which I can then import into the game. So hopefully this worked. There's a very high chance that it didn't, but we'll see. So I'll just give it a minute to rebuild the crates file, and here we go. The modified crates file has been saved as custom blah 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 blah. So hopefully that will have worked. Let me close everything and find out. So remember what this looked like? By default there was only one crate in this area of the level. So if I just close this and open up the NST Pack Explorer, I can open up, what's it called? Oh god. I don't want you seeing on my files. Let's open up Insanity Beach and then go down to the Maps folder, find the crates file and replace it with the custom one that I just created, which should be in here. Yeah, here we go, crates. So if I repack that back into my program files, save it, yes, wait for this to save, and then when it does, and I reopen the game, I should see the modified crates positions that I just changed in Unity. So, let's see what happens. Okay, so it's finished, and I'm just going to load Insanity Beach to check that it's worked. Hopefully it won't crash. That does often happen when I do things like this. Here we go. There they are. It did work. So that's good news. And they should all physically be there. And oh, look at that. Perfect. Perfect. I should be able to get all three with the crab and get instant invincibility if I'm time it right. Beautiful. There we go. So that is level editing using Unity. I think I should quickly show you what happens if you load in the crates from another level, and I guess I should prove that it does work with other things that aren't crates as well, but I'm not going to show the whole process, so I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so this is Stormy Ascent, and I've loaded up the crates file in the editor for Stormy Ascent. This doesn't actually say unknown. I changed it to show the hex values of these coordinates, but I mean, pretty much these are unknown. So this is the crates file for Stormy Ascent. It's actually found 123 objects in that file. If you look at the level, then the game says there's only 56 crates. So I don't know what all of these are, but I think this is a good way to demonstrate that all levels work differently, because obviously there's something in here that's not just crates. I have looked at this file before, so I've got some idea of what's going on, but if I go back to this and press any key to continue, it should now hopefully take the information that was saved by the level editor when I loaded the crates file for this level, and it should copy it across to my Unity scene, hopefully. What it's doing at the moment is, because in the Unity file the crates are in some kind of random arbitrary order that like don't respond, that don't relate to the way they're named and numbered in the scene. What this is doing is just going through that file and working out which numbers in the editor relate to which part of the scene file. It's all very complicated, and it took me a long time to work out how to do this. The crates that in this list, you can see it says 123. As I said before, there's only 120 crates in the scene file that I've got at the moment, so there will be a couple of things missing, but most of the level should be there. So it's just rebuilding the scene file now. I haven't added in any nice messages to explain what's going on here, but I know what it's doing. So that has hopefully saved to the Unity file. So if I go back to Unity now, hopefully, sometimes it asks me if I want to reload the file, sometimes it doesn't. So what I'm going to do, will it work if I just go back to this? Yeah, okay, so I just opened here we go. I just reopened the same scene. So this is Stormy Ascent. And when you look at it like this, it doesn't look that impressive, but how do I use this editor? If I just zoom in down here, go to here, you can see there are 4 crates at the start here, which are these 4 crates. You can't see my cursor here. These 4 crates here are these 4. Oops. It's asking me to reload now, I don't need to. Are these 4 here. This is a really ineffective way of showing what's going on, but this is the Stormy Ascent crates file, and when you look at it like this, you kind of get an idea of how few crates are actually in the level, because it's mostly about jumping on platforms and vultures and things like that. But yeah, this is the level, and up here I guess is the ending. There's a few more crates at the end, isn't there? But what I mean when I say all levels are different is that Stormy Ascent, the crates file contains this little section here, which I thought was interesting. And what this is the bonus round. If you remember what the Stormy Ascent bonus round looks like, I'm not going to play through the level and get to it now to show you in game, but just look up a YouTube video if you can't remember. This is the Stormy Ascent bonus level, and the reason why this is unusual is because most levels contain the crates for the bonus levels in a separate file. So normally, like for example, Jungle Rollers, there's Jungle Rollers crates and Jungle Rollers bonus, or Jungle Rollers bonus round, or Jungle Rollers Torna bonus, or something like that. Every level's different, so I don't know exactly what it's called, but the crates for the bonus round are stored in a separate file to the crates for the rest of the level. This one, for some reason, Stormy Ascent, they haven't done that, because the way this game works is so inconsistent. And what's even more weird about this is you can see here this arch of crates. What these actually are is the Wumpa fruit in the bonus round. For some reason they are stored in the crates file, and I guess this is a good way to highlight that something someone asked me on Twitter was will it ever be possible to show the rest of the level besides the crates, and I don't know, because what's actually happening here is these are not like crate models copied into Unity. This is just the objects that I've created set to the coordinates that are found in the crates file. So the only reason they're like in the right dimensions is because I happen to know roughly what the dimensions of these crates are, so that's how big I made the model. So whatever you load into this, every object will always look like a crate. So have I explained that very well? I don't think so, but the point I'm trying to make is I don't know if it will ever be possible to do that. I'll show you what happens if you load in a different kind of file in a minute, but I just wanted to demonstrate that this is what happens if you load up a different level. It does work, it's just a bit strange because every level's different, so it takes a lot of trial and error to sort of explore what everything is. But you can still move these into the main level if you want to. Let's see, just as a quick example, let's take crate number well, I happen to know that these four are all TNTs, and this row above them is the Wumpa fruits, which are above them in the level. So what I can do with these, actually it's probably quicker if I can't remember what those crates at the start were numbered as, but if I go down to the start here, find, let's say, crate, oops, how did I end up over here? I don't like Unity. Click on this, zoom into that, 34. So if I get the coordinates for crate 34 in the inspector over here, and just copy them into, let's say, 100, just give me a second, you can't see what I'm doing because it's off screen, but I cause so many problems when I try to move windows around that I'm not going to do that. I'll just quickly copy the coordinates for crate 34 to crate 100. There, you can see it's starting to appear. 34Y, copy that into 100Y, and then get the Z. Well, I can probably manage without that, can't I? Although I can't, no, I will copy it because I can't quite see the arrow to move it. So this should appear in the same position as crate 34. And if I load the level like this, it will give me a horrible error message because there's two crates on top of each other. But this is a TNT crate, so there aren't any TNT crates in the normal path of Stormy Ascent normally, so I don't think I want to put it here because that is right around where you spawn, and that might cause some problems. But should we just see if I can try and get one on top of like this step? So this would be easier to do actually with the other editor, but just to demonstrate that you can do something with what I need to do is find a way to combine this editor with the other one in a way that's actually useful. So if I want to put a TNT crate on this step here, I think if I move this a bit further away, and then I reckon the height should be about right, shouldn't it? So if I just, where's my mouse gone? If I move it about this is all very quick and based on estimation, so I don't know exactly where this will appear, but I'm going to try it. So I'm going to save this crates file, do what I did before, load it back into the game, and then we will discover together what effect that has. So hopefully there'll be a TNT crate on the step. BRB while I save this file. Okay, so I've saved everything now, and I should be loading Stormy Ascent. So hopefully, oh, I thought it crashed for a second. Oh, bollocks. Right, so what's happened is I was wrong about that one being a TNT crate. It's actually an outline crate that will turn into a TNT crate eventually. But I mean, it has moved, hasn't it? So if I go into the bonus level and spin the thing to turn the outline crates into real crates, and then somehow get back here, which is actually impossible without cheating, this should become a TNT crate. I'm not going to go through the whole process again just to prove it, but yeah. You saw what I did, and you saw that the crate did move to where I was trying to move it, so that should be good enough for you. If it's good enough for me, then it's good enough for you. But yeah, that is just to show that it does work with other... Oh, can I... No, I thought for a second I was standing on top of it, but no. That is an example of using a different level with this method of editing. And just very quickly, I guess I want to show you what happens if you use a file that is not a crates file. So, BRB again. Okay, so this is the heavy machinery platforming file loaded into Unity. That's what it is. So, like with any of these files, you never really know what you're going to see until you look at them, and this is clearly not all of the platforming, all of the platforms in heavy machinery. It's just some of them, and they all look like crates because that is the object that I have loaded into the editor. I guess I could make these look a bit more like platforms if I just... Hang on, this might be a stupid idea. If I just try to change the size of all of them. So if I just quickly do search for this, replace it with this, X, let's say, make them a bit bigger. Let's make them 160, twice the size. Well, let's say 140. Y, let's decrease that to 30. Z, let's make them all square, so 140. So if I just do replace all and save that, and then reload it here, there you go. So they look a bit more like platforms now, don't they? But that's because I've manually changed them. So I could move all these around and demonstrate how they all work, but that would take forever. It took long enough to load this, so I'm not going to go through the whole process again. I just wanted to show that it does work with other kinds of files. It's still just as much of a pain in the ass to do anything with them, but I mean, I've got something here, haven't I? It works, and if I move these around and save it, that will work. I better undo this before I forget, because that will break everything. But yeah. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I need to find some way to combine this, hang on, this editor with this thing, and also make that work with the game, so that I can like change things in Unity and see them update in the game as soon as I do that, and find some way to just make a link between these three things and consolidate everything into one editor and streamline everything. And oh my god, the code for all of this is such a mess, and it's so fragmented, it's split up between so many different things that I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get something usable with this. But I mean, something else you can do with this is move a lot of things at once. So I might, I won't like keep going with the commentary to see what happens because I need to finish this video, but I'll save this and replace it in game just to see what happens, and I'll put a clip of that at the end. I'll see if it's interesting. But yeah, I just wanted to update you with the progress that I've made with this editor so far, and this is where I'm at. It's still a mess. I still don't really have anything I can release yet because it only works like 1% of the time and it crashes so much. And I keep getting hard drive corruptions, which might be something to do with this. I'm not sure. But yeah. It is possible to have some kind of visual level editor for the Insane Trilogy. And I think that is the point I was trying to prove by doing this. So yeah. There you go, there's your update. Bye.